106.7 WTCC. Let's try this again. Welcome to the Black Love Experience. Had a little difficulty getting on the air, but we're on here now. So tell a friend, tell somebody. Bishop is on the air. Let's see if we can get this conversation popping once again. All right. Call your friends. Tell them we did get on. We're here now. We're going to try to roll with the last 45 minutes or so of the show. To try to holler at you about a couple of things. Okay. Here and there. All right. Tell somebody we're on. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Good morning to each and every one of you that are in the building. Do me a favor, rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where you are chiming in from. Okay? All right, we're going to be right back. Let me get a little bit of word of encouragement up in here. And then we'll get right to our topic. Stay with us.
Life is grow, but the essence of growth is change. The being in the road will be the end of the road if you refuse to change.
Reach a little higher, dig a little deeper, go a little further,
Come on.
reach a little higher,
Come on, yeah.
dig a little deeper,
Dig a little deeper,
go a little further,
go a little further. Come on, but don't stop.
The essence of life is growth, but the essence of growth is change. The being in the road will be the end of the road if you refuse to change. Your life will never change until you get disgusted with where you are. Whatever you don't hate is what you tolerate. You must learn from the past, plan for the future, and live for today. For it is your daily routine that determines your success or failure in life. It's the choices that you have made up until this point that will determine the rest of your life. So break the cycle that doing enough is simply good enough. You only get out what you put in, so don't settle for the crumbs when you can have the whole loaf. So push yourself beyond your limitations. Come on.
reach a little higher,
Reach a little higher,
dig a little deeper,
dig a little deeper.
go a little further,
Don't stop.
don't stop,
Come on.
don't
Reach
stop,
a little higher,
reach a little higher,
dig a little deeper.
dig a little deeper,
Go a little further.
go a little further,
Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop.
don't stop.
So you gotta break the routine of trying to beat the system. Manipulators will always try to bypass the process for the quick progress. There are no shortcuts to success. There are no elevators to the top. You gotta take it one step at a time. You gotta break the routine of allowing others to get into your head and control who you are and where you're going. You see, when you're about the positive, you're gonna always have haters. But don't let your haters push you down, let your haters push you forward to the next level. So when people show you who they really are, don't perceive them to be something else that they're not. See, a zebra does not change his stripes. So you gotta keep pushing yourself to the next level.
Reach a little higher,
Yeah, there you go. Come on.
dig a little deeper,
Come on. Yeah.
go a little further,
Go a little further.
don't stop,
Come on.
don't stop,
Come on. Yeah.
reach a little higher,
Reach a little higher.
dig a little deeper,
Dig a little deeper.
go a little further,
Go a little further. Come on. Come on. Come on. You got to understand that greatness is the nature that you were born out of. You'll never discover your greatness without hard work and dedication. Greatness says more about who you are and what you expect for yourself. And greatness will always attract greatness. Show me your friends and I'll show you the future. The future. You just a step away. You just a step away. You just a step away. Don't ever give up. Come on. You just a step away. You're almost there. Come on. You gotta push yourself beyond your limitations. You see, there's no mountain too high, no valley too low. You can go where you want to go. It's all in the power of your imagination. If you can see the invisible, you can do the impossible. So stretch yourself. Take yourself to the next level. Come on, come on, come on. Reach a little higher. Dig a little deeper. Go a little further. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Reach a little higher. Dig a little deeper. Go a little further. Don't stop, don't stop. Come on, yeah. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Blessings are coming your way.
There's a blessing waiting on you right around the corner. There's a blessing waiting on you.
Don't stop. Don't stop until you get your dream. Don't stop. Get your dream. Until you get your dream. Come on. Don't stop. Don't stop until you get your dream. Don't stop. Get your dream. Come on. Yes. Don't stop. Come on. Come on. Come on. Go for the go. Come on. You gotta go for the go.
You gotta go for the goal.
Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Come on. Yeah.
Go a little further.
Yeah.
All right, 90.7 WTCC finally got on the air. Finally got on the air. You know, technology is technology. It's a wonderful tool, but it's man-made. So, you know, sometimes there's some glitches and stuff that happen, and you got to reset, and you got to do all this and do all of that. And, you know, it killed a lot of time this morning. But nonetheless, we is here. We is here. I may be black, I may be ugly, but I'm here. I'm here. Okay. So good morning to you. Good morning to you. Only got a little bit of time left because a lot of time was killed with the technical problems. But I wanted to holler at you about this whole public buck breaking of Kyrie Irving and Kanye West that's going on, and this double standard that is happening in America, where black entertainers and black athletes are being held to a standard that others aren't. Okay, that are facing consequences for their perceived slights at the Jewish community, while anti-blackness runs rampant without consequences happening at all in most instances. And this latest incident with Kyrie Irving is so glaring. It is so glaring. And for those of you who don't know, you know what happened. Kyrie Irving shared on his Twitter account a link to a documentary called "From Hebrews to Negroes: Wake Up, Black America." There are those. Now, I haven't seen the documentary, so I can't speak to it one way or another. But there are those who say that there are things in the documentary that are anti-Semitic, and so the Jewish community was outraged at Kyrie for sharing it because Kyrie has X number of millions of followers, et cetera, et cetera. And so, you know, there were demands for an apology. There were demands for his basketball team to get rid of him, demands for this, demands for that, demands for the other. Now, the ironic thing about all of that is this documentary has been available on Amazon Prime. You can stream it right now. And since the controversy, Amazon has tripled the price on it. Now, normally you go on, those of you who are Prime members, I'm a member of Amazon Prime. Normally you can rent a video for $2.99 to $3.99, depending on if it's single definition or high definition. And normally you can purchase a video for about $19.99 to $24.99. Now all of a sudden, it costs $11.99 to rent this video, and $49.99 to purchase it. So I mean, they have literally tripled the price on streaming this video because the interest in it has been piqued because of the controversy. So Amazon said, "Hey, you know what? We're just gonna make more money off of this video." Now, Jeff Bezos, a multi-billionaire white man, is the owner of Amazon. He nor any of the executives at Amazon got any smoke about distributing and profiting from the video. But Kyrie got all kinds of smoke for sharing it. He didn't endorse it. He didn't endorse the contents of it. He didn't say whether he agreed with everything in it or anything. He shared it. And so he's been excoriated, forced now to apologize, forced to make a $500,000 donation to the Anti-Defamation League. How many rich white people who've called us niggers have been forced to make $500,000 donations to the NAACP or some other civil rights organization? Matter of fact, Robert Sarver, the owner of the Phoenix Suns, who was caught calling black players and employees the N-word, they didn't make him make a mandatory donation to a black organization. Kyrie had to give $500,000 to the ADL, apologize, and then still got suspended. Now, you remember what happened to Kanye, a week after he offended the Jewish community. All of his endorsers and deals and contracts got rid of him. His bank had $140 million in Chase Bank. Chase said, "Get out of here. We don't want to do banking with you." But Chase Bank kept doing banking with Jeffrey Epstein, the multimillionaire white friend of Donald Trump, who was convicted of child sex trafficking. So a child sex trafficker who's Jewish, you can continue to do business with. But a black entertainer like Kanye, yeah, we can't do business with you. The Gap, Adidas, you name it, Balenciaga, all got rid of Kanye. He was the richest rapper, one of the richest entertainers among black people, according to Forbes, and he lost nearly $1 billion in wealth because of his offense to the Jewish community. Kyrie Irving, suspended, lost $500,000 in wealth. And there are those who are pushing further, to get him released from his team for offending the Jewish community. Yet, the white guy who's distributing the video gets no smoke at all. None. So we live in an America where white Nazis can march the street saying Jews will not replace us, be endorsed by the president of these yet to be United States of America, and still face no consequences. No consequences at all. But black men be completely buck-broken publicly, economically, and otherwise. There's a double standard, a triple standard in this nation about how people are handled. While anti-blackness continues to be tolerated, continues unabated, but we've got to watch our step. And this isn't the first time. We can go We can just roll off the names, over and over and over of so many of them that they've been told you've got to repudiate Minister Farrakhan. You've got to do this. You've got to do that. You've got to do the other. They never tell white men they got to repudiate anti-black bigots. And I'm not saying anything negative about Minister Farrakhan. That's just their perception of him. And every time our brothers, even those who try to resist, being forced to apologize, et cetera, like Kyrie was resisting. He was resisting. But lo and behold, he had to succumb. I guess once his team suspended him, and he had to think about his family, of course. He had to think about his livelihood, et cetera, et cetera. Had to think about his career, and so he issued an apology. And we know an apology is not really good enough for them because Kanye wound up issuing an apology. Nick Cannon issued an apology. And, we can go on and on and on to the break of dawn with our brothers and sisters that they try to buck break. Whether it's Toni Morrison or Angela Davis or Whoopi Goldberg or Mark Lamont Hill or Nick Cannon. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And yet these same folk who are saying that people ought to face immediate, severe, and life-altering consequences for perceived anti-Semitism are silent as church mice when it comes to anti-blackness. And that's what I always ask them. First, I check them out. All these blue check members of the Jewish community who are interacting with me, I check their record and say, oh, I noticed you said nothing about George Floyd's murder. You said nothing about Breonna Taylor's murder. You said nothing about the rampant anti-blackness that is occurring all over this nation. But you want black people to jump on your bandwagon when you're offended and demand that other black people lose their livelihood. It's amazing how folk who never stand with our community demand that we stand with them against our own people. And there are some who do it because we've had, over the last couple of days, we've had a coon fest going on, starring Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal. I asked the question yesterday, how many current and former white football players are throwing Brett Favre under the bus for stealing millions of dollars from poor black children in Mississippi? Find it for me. Show me the current and former white NFL players that are throwing Brett Favre under the bus for bilking billions from the poorest children, mainly black children in Mississippi. You can't find them. But there's a whole line of former black NBA players ready to do Massa's bidding and throw Kyrie Irving under the bus. Amari Stoudemire, Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley. Millionaire black men excoriating another black man so that they can please their white masters. And you got Shaq and Barkley on with Ernie Johnson, foot shuffling and buck dancing. Yes, sir, Master Ernie, he's a real idiot. He surely is an idiot. And Barkley talking about Adam Silver should have immediately suspended him. How you gonna take my $40 million and trash my religion? First of all, Adam Silver is not paying Kyrie Irving. Adam Silver does not own the team that employs Kyrie Irving. You know, so Barkley is suggesting that because Adam Silver is Jewish, that he should have immediately suspended Kyrie because he offended the Jewish community. So he's suggesting that somehow the commissioner of the NBA should mete out discipline to anyone who expresses an opinion that is in conflict with his regarding his religion. That's some dangerous ground to be standing on. That's some dangerous ground to be standing on. But you know, Charles Barkley been buck dancing for a while. Charles Barkley been buck dancing for a long time. Let me get La Negres up here in the space. La Negres, you got the microphone.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, you brought up some serious points about the double standard. And one of the double standards that people refuse to accept is that the Black Jewish Alliance no longer exists because white Jews will stand on black whiteness before siding with Black America.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then on top of that, the secret of slavery is that Jews were part of the transatlantic and internal slave trade. Okay?
A huge part of it.
Made just as much money as other whites, but nobody wants to talk about that. There's supposed to be some unspoken script that blacks and Jews are one and the same, and we're on the same side during the modern civil rights movements of the 60s and 70s. You got to stop with that mythology. You got to start looking at people for what they are doing, which is harming others to stay and maintain their position within the white supremacy hierarchy.
Yeah, and but here's the thing: if you speak the facts about the role that Jewish people played in the transatlantic slave trade, the fact that they financed the slave trade, they owned ships that transported Africans to be enslaved in the Caribbean and in North America. The fact that they owned enslaved Africans here in America. If you say those things, then you're anti-Semitic. It's just as bad as or worse than white supremacists now who are pushing that you can't teach the truth about the history of American racism in public schools. You can't speak about the role that the Jewish community played in the transatlantic slave trade without being labeled as anti-Semitic.
Well, the anti-Semitism trope is there just to buck break any black man or black woman who not only challenges the status quo, but puts that truth out there. See, again, the Jewish Americans go by flat whiteness, so they feel that it is their manifest destiny to buck break any black person that doesn't go along with the white supremacist colonized programming. That's it. I mean, when you have people like Colin Kaepernick, who refuse to allow anybody to break him because he stood on the truth and the truth alone.
Right.
Period. And it's not about the money, it's not about the fame. It's about standing 10 toes down on the truth and the truth alone. And if the Jews refuse to accept it, and because of their whiteness, their flat whiteness, and their honorary whiteness in the United States, then there's an even bigger, more insidious problem that you've touched upon about the idea how Adam Silver could stand on whiteness and his religious views and turn that around and castigate a professional that he doesn't want who called him out for being a racist. I'll land my plane.
All right. Appreciate you. Yeah. A lot of truth. A lot of truth. Chilzo. Let me get you up in here. All right. I hope I'm saying that right. Chilzo, you got the microphone.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
I just wanted to say something real quick about Kyrie Irving. And I said this yesterday. I said it again today. I think what we need to do is send a message to these high dollar plantations. All this, support that we've been giving the NBA, we need to take all that and put it toward alternatives like Ice Cube's Big Three. We have alternatives out here. We just got to use them. Because really what they're doing is just showing all of us they don't really care about us. They're just using our talent. They're taking the talent from our athletes, and whenever they want to, they'll just break. I was taught that white supremacy always breaks schools when it's done using. That's just what's happening. That's all I want to say.
All right, appreciate you. Yeah, there's a lot of hypocrisy out there. A lot of just rank hypocrisy in terms of how this is being handled. And here's the thing, this whole notion of freedom of speech is so disingenuous. It's freedom of speech as long as they're the ones speaking what they want to speak. But then when it comes to black folks speaking, don't tell the truth about American racism. Don't speak about this or speak about that, or we'll buck break you publicly. But then you want to talk about, this whole thing with Elon Musk taking over Twitter. It's supposed to be about, now we can have free speech. You can't talk about free speech and simultaneously tell black folk you're not free to speak, or else you'll face debilitating consequences. It's so hypocritical. It's absolutely insane. What they mean is we want white folks to be free to speak about whatever they want, whoever they want, but not y'all. Not y'all. Let me get the queen. Let me get the queen up in here. Queen of Sheba, you got the microphone. Holla at me.
Yes, my name is Benazir Ibrahim Mukhtar. I live in the Netherlands.
All right.
And I was born in Somalia. I live in the Netherlands as a refugee migrant, but now I'm a Dutch citizen. And I absolutely agree with you. It is hypocritical how they speak about anti-Semitism in the United States and also in Europe, but also don't talk about, the truth of the matter. I don't agree with some of the things that Kanye West or these other people, some other people in America are talking about, but also I wanted to point out, the double standard when it comes to anti-Black racism. in Europe also and in America. For example, in the Netherlands, we have this blackface celebration in the winter. It's people casually walking around with blackface, and then they talk about it as like a tradition or saying that it's like something to do with Santa Claus, but it's like a double standard. People were protesting this thing for years, and then finally, the Prime Minister talks about how it was a racist tradition. So, like, my point is, all these people, the white folks or the Jewish community, they talk about these things when it affects them, but when it's time to talk about everything that's happening to black people all over the world, it doesn't have to be the United States. Also in Europe and also back home, the United States has the biggest military camps in my home, Somalia. So when it comes to talk about these things, they don't address it. And when someone talks about this issue of like points out Jewish issues in the United States, all of a sudden it's anti-Semitism. And also, let's not forget Israeli occupation in Palestine. No one mentioned this. So I just wanted to point out it is absolutely hypocritical and some double standard to everyone that's in power, and white folks and Jewish community, they need to do better. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate you, Queen. Let's get. Well, some of y'all got some long names up in here. Who did you boycott? You're in the Twitter space.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the invite. I'm new to the Twitter space.
All right.
I'm new to the social media scene altogether.
All right.
I did not start clicking on these slave plantations until COVID hit.
Okay.
And found out that my people were on these social media platforms. I've been calling for a boycott of this sorry country since December of 2020.
You said you wanted us. You said you wanted us to boycott the country.
I want them to be boycott in any way, form, or fashion to get their attention.
Okay.
I mean, we got a lot to choose from. We got so many to choose from. It'll take us a lifetime to get to all of them.
Okay.
I mean, we could pick any one of these social media platforms tomorrow and boycott them for 2 days. I call for a boycott on Clubhouse. Just boycott Clubhouse for 24 hours and nobody wanted to sign up. What is it going to take? What is it going to take for us as black melanated people to understand this is the main power we have in this world? All right. We witnessed it for 2 nights. The NBA and the WNBA shook the whole world for 48 hours. What in God's name is it going to take? Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to continue to boycott this sorry country until I die. I started in December when Donald Trump, Jerry Jones had the audacity to come before the microphone and tell my brothers they didn't have the right to kneel. Well, that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. I love my sports. I played sports all my life.
All right.
But I stopped watching sports the next day. I ain't watched a sport, NBA, NFL, since I heard that conference. They would not get my pennies and nickels. Fast food, they not getting my money anymore.
All right.
PET, the Grammys, on and on and on. Little Caesar, I have cut out cable, all of their foolishness. And Adidas just got a taste of that medicine the past couple of days. Adidas is probably feeling really small right now. So they said, well, we need some reinforcements. So let's target another black person. We need some reinforcements to help Adidas hold up their foolishness. Adidas is already suffering for what they did to Kanye West. Their stock went down under $100. But they ain't got a taste of their medicine enough yet. They need more taste of their medicine. When black people decide to boycott Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Clubhouse, and on, it was nothing but for 2 days. to send these sorry human beings a message. We mean business with y'all foolish people.
All right. Well, it sounds like you passionate about this boycott thing. We're gonna boycott the food, the social media, the everything. No, I feel her. You know, sometimes the only way to get folks is to hit them in the pocket. Let me get Shanak. I hope I'm saying it right. Y'all have some interesting names, but anyway, Shanak, you're in the Twitter space. You got the microphone. Holla at your boy. Shanak 7. Going once. There you go. Good morning.
Afternoon to you, Bishop. I'm calling you from Zambia.
Okay, it's Zambia. All right, it's afternoon where you are. It's morning where I am. So good afternoon.
Right, right. I won't be long. I just wanted to just show some solidarity with with the events that are transpiring with some of our brothers and sisters over there, and just want to assure people that we're paying attention and we see, and also, if I may, just a bit of a commentary on this so-called anti-Semitism accusation. Obviously, I'm sure many people on this particular panel already know that it's often a trait that's often used to silence or discredit often legitimate criticisms of actions of people who are part of the so-called quote-unquote Jewish faith, Jewish religion, or state of Israel. When Israel is when the state of Israel is dropping bombs on Palestine or what have you, and there is a legitimate criticism of those types of action, the word anti-Semitism rises up very quickly, and it's often used to give a harsh critique. And so anybody doesn't want to be, they use that almost as if to say that's their version of the N-word, But beyond that,
that's supposed to shut you down.
People need to start understanding as well, a bit of the history on these terms and how they come about. Real quick, if you will indulge me, I won't take long, just under 1 minute.
Go ahead.
To say that we need to expand our understanding. Our people and everybody in general need to understand or expand their understanding of what is a Jew. We must stop tying the idea of being a Jew to being European, because that has been the normative way that, whether it be biblical scholars or historians and, Eurocentric historians and what have you, have always considered to say that the European Jew or the Jew coming out of Europe is the standard Jew.
Right.
But when we go back from a historical and, in fact, a biblical account of things, we will find that could be further from the truth. You will find that there are a lot of people of color who outnumber European Jewry. The sister that was on here real quick from Ethiopia, she'll confirm to say that they have a Jewish population in Ethiopia by the millions, Ethiopian Jews. You go to West Africa, you will find among people like the Igbo, the Yoruba, you will find indigenous African peoples who trace their lineage back to early Hebrew ancestors who were migrating in some of those regions.
And
Southern Africa,
and the Ethiopian Jews outdate their practice of Judaism from the Jews from Europe. When I was in Israel one time, I had an opportunity to sit down and talk with Shlomo Mola, who at that time was the deputy speaker of the Knesset. He was an Ethiopian Jew, and he talked extensively about the racial oppression and discrimination Ethiopian Jews faced in Israel at the hands of European Jews.
Right, exactly. And to that point, now, my good bishop, to that point, when in the early stages of the formulation of the Jewish state, the modern state of Israel, when they were bringing forth the rabbis who ordained them, they had to go and take rabbis from Ethiopia to come and ordain the European rabbis in Israel.
Yes.
And that says something.
Yes.
In fact, Theodore Herzl, the supposed father of the modern state of Israel, when he was making a tour of the land, on his boat, there's a picture when you go into, I think it's either in Tel Aviv or in Jerusalem in one of the museums there. There's a picture of Theodore Herzl that's been cropped out, where when he's on the boat being led, heading to Israel, one of the indigenous people who were showing him the land was an Afro-Palestinian. It was a black brother, a black Arab brother, and they referred to him as the indigenous guy. Now, when you look at the term indigenous, it means being native too.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So our people need to really, and again, it goes back to about who controls the images we see, because images formulate thought and perception. And so when we continuously see one type of Jew, it is easy for somebody to say you're being anti-Semitic when you criticize a specific type of Jew from a specific type of region in the world.
Yes.
But surely so, there are Jews of all kinds of colors around the world. And in fact, those who are considered to be people of color, or rather should I say black or sub-Saharan type, outnumber by vast majority those of the Caucasian persuasion. Absolutely. They go as far to refer to Africans or even black Jews in Israel as Kushim, which is a derogatory term that you also may have been aware of with the rabbi that you mentioned, which is a derogatory term that would mean nigger. And nobody brings that up to their attention. And I think this is the frustration and the outcry that people must rightly feel at this particular time when we're talking about our brother Kyrie Irving, to say that he's not, it's not a race thing. It's he's coming from a historical perspective. Now, I may not agree with the, with the supposition of whatever may be on that particular documentary, but I have the right to view it under the idea of freedom of speech and what have you.
Right.
So you can't chastise me for sharing a link.
Right. Absolutely.
And I don't always have to give context. If here I am, I'm a nobody from somewhere, from, according to Trump, some shithole in the bottom south of the world. If I share that link right now, nobody would give 2 cents about what was going on with me. Right. But because I may have a platform and a position, I'm a threat. That's a bit disingenuous. So yes, I appreciate for sparing me my chance to vent. But I just want to emphasize with our brothers and sisters to say, and everybody else who may be listening, to say that we must rethink our understanding of a Jew. There's Jews of all shades and colors. Even in Israel, you will go there, you will find brothers and sisters who are. So it's possible that, and it's very possible that among those that were taken as descendants of slaves to America, among them are people who descend from those tribes of Israel that were scattered after 70 AD. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's a historical fact. A historical fact that has been noted even by secular scholars and religious scholars. But the racism still permeates even in those institutions, that they won't allow these conversations to be had in a more open forum. And so what you expect, people who rush to YouTube, people who rush to some of the spaces, and not everybody on YouTube is a bona fide scholar, but people who give up. So I'll end it there.
All right. Appreciate you. Oh, I wish I had more time. I see so many of you all who want to get in on this conversation. Sorry that my time was cut short because of the technical difficulties we were having with getting over the air on the radio and yada, yada, yada. So, unfortunately, I got to move out your way. I gotta go. I won't be with you on Monday because I'll be traveling. So, I guess I'll see you when I see you. Appreciate each and every one of you in the space that is trying to get in here. But I got to get off the air. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to sign off of WTCC, and I'll take a couple more of you in the Twitter space over social media. So for those of you who are listening on WTCC, and you want to come on over here to the social media space, come on and roll through. I'll be glad to have you as we continue for a little bit with this particular conversation. If you're looking for a place to worship, check us out at Spring of Hope Church of God in Christ, 35 Alden Street, Springfield, Massachusetts, 11 o'clock a.m. on Sunday. Prayer, praise, and preaching happening in the building. Check us out. All right, in the 413. Listen to the spoken word. We will have something running on Monday, though. Listen to the spoken word on Mondays at 9 a.m. The Black Love Experience on Fridays at 9 a.m. Until the next time I talk to you and you talk to me, always remember God loves you. So do I. All right. We're off the radio, but let me continue on here just a little while because I didn't want to not get some of you all who are in the Twitter space. Landless. You got the microphone. Holla at your boy. Landless, you in here?
Hey Bishop, I'm here.
How you doing?
I'm very well, Bishop. Yourself?
Good, doing well.
No, thanks, man. We are also coming live from South Africa.
All right, South Africa. All right.
And like the former two speakers from Uganda and Somalia, I just thought that it's important that we send our solidarity with our own brothers in the American land, that we too are witnessing the lynching of the black body. And we also recognize that this lynching, it's historical, it has never stopped. It's the historical sin has always been the enslavement of the black body. And ever since our enslavement taken from Africa into the world, we have never known peace.
Right.
So for Kanye to expect peace, it was somehow a bit disingenuous for them. But too quickly, Bishop, since you don't have time, perhaps part of what we need to look at equally is to interrogate the tools of analysis that we are using to try to dismantle this white supremacist world. There is a meta theory that some of us are following, right, which is called Afro-pessimism, largely coming from the professors in the America.
Gotcha.
And somehow, something interesting about this particular meta theory is that it has been energizing to many black folk. Because part of what we find is that the available language, the available images, the available tools of analysis in the world simply reproduce white supremacy. Simply, keep us at the bottom of this particular white supremacist world. And perhaps we must pay a much closer attention to this Afro-pessimism theory, correct it where it's wrong, but advance it where it's correct. Because it looks like it is the only tools of analysis, or at least the only language available in the world that attempts for us to reconstruct our lives differently and connect us. But lastly, part of what we need to work on, I think it is also going to be impossible of us to expect our brothers and sisters in America to find peace when we've not resolved the questions of Africa. We need to look at how do we build bridges, how do we build relationships, how do we correct the pool upon which all black people in the world are drawn from.
Yeah.
And up until I think we correct that, up until we correct that historical justice, we will continue to be victims of white supremacy, no matter where it finds itself in the world. And currently, America is the stage upon which we have been engaged. But thanks for this space, Bishop.
All right. Appreciate you,
we
my
are
brother.
watching, we are looking, and we appreciate what you're doing. Thanks, Bishop.
All right. Thank you, sir. All the way from South Africa, Destin Lacole. Destin Lacole, you got the microphone. Did I get you in here? I think so. Destin, unmute your mic. You're up next.
Okay, thank you. And I know you're limited on time, so I'm just gonna get this off my chest really quickly.
All right, where you coming in from?
Atlanta.
All right, ATL. Go ahead.
So, like as far as the Kyrie situation, how he got suspended for those 5 games without pay just for sharing the link, not saying anything about it.
Right.
Think about a police officer that could kill an unarmed black or brown person and be suspended and still get paid.
Right.
Now,
right.
If that doesn't make anyone like scratch their head, then I don't know what will.
Man.
And it's also like if you have a textbook and it says 3 + 2 = 5, and your teacher keeps telling you that it's 6, and every time you try to say no, it's 5, she doesn't try to correct you. She doesn't try to, have you show your work and all of that. All she does is just try to get you expelled from the school or get you sent to the principal office. That should speak volumes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know that you brought this out before. I mean, everybody has different things, but I know that you brought out Revelations 2 and 9 before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's eschatology. That's future end time prophecy.
Yeah.
It's saying Christ himself, red letter, is saying that the real Jews are in poverty. They have trials and tribulations. They don't own everything. You know who the real Jews, you really can go, even though a lot of people say, oh, the Old Testament's done away with. You can tell who the Jews are by the curses that are in Deuteronomy 28. And verse 46 says it's going to be on your descendants forever. Not just sometimes, not just for a little bit, forever. If you don't do what, God wants you to do, that's going to be on you forever. It's a contract. Who else had single parent households? Who else came to be slaves in a country that no one knew about? Who else was on slave ships to get to the country? Who else got an evil eye toward their brother? They keep saying black on black crimes. There's just a whole bunch of things. There's so many verses. It's verse 15 to 68. That's a lot of stuff to read. But just all this different stuff does not point to them. And really, that's all I had to say.
All right. Appreciate you, my sister. Oh, yeah. Israel Keys. Israel Keys. You're next up.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, Bishop. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. You?
Awesome. So, I'm calling from, I'm speaking from London.
London. All right.
Yes, sir. London in the building. And I don't know what I've been if I haven't found this place because I'm right here just trying to keep on explaining about what's been going on the last couple of days.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I've never been a Kyrie fan, right? I think in the past he's been immature. I think he's spoken without thinking. I think he's actually done a lot of damage to some of the causes he's tried to support by the way he's gone about them. I never thought the day would come where I'd be on the internet defending Kyrie Irving.
Right.
Now, first of all, I watched that video in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
There's all the backlash about it being since then.
Right. That's exactly what I want to know. This thing has been sitting on Amazon Prime for anybody to stream.
Yes, sir. I watched it. I watched it in 2018. I followed the guy who wrote the book for a while. I don't believe everything he says, There's a lot of stuff in the documentary I personally don't agree with, like Harry said. But at the end of the day, the premise is this. The premise of that entire video is this. There's a difference between a religion and a bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
And he believes, like Harry probably does, that the bloodline of the original Hebrews is not in a lot of the people who say they're Jewish today.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's either a fact or it's wrong. Mm-hmm. It's either correct or it's false. It is not anti-Semitic.
Right. Right.
It's not hate speech. It's not an attack. Someone is saying, I believe I'm the blood of Abraham, and you're not. That's number one. Number two, the man put a link on his Twitter that is an Amazon video.
Right.
I don't see nobody trying to cancel Amazon.
Right. And that's the thing we've been saying. Y'all not going after the multi-billionaire white man, Jeff Bezos, who owns Amazon, who's still making money off. Matter of fact, because it's going up to $49.99 from $19.99. They've tripled the price and said, "Hey, we're gonna make more money off of this joint."
There you go, sir. And number three, I don't know if you know this, Bishop. Kyrie Irving's owner, supposed owner, because I hate that phrase in sports, owner. You don't own people.
Right.
His owner is a Chinese guy called Joe Tsai. Joe Tsai is a public, avowed supporter of the Chinese Communist Party. Joe Tsai owns Alibaba, and it is an incontrovertible fact that they were involved, and are involved, in the oppression of the Chinese Uyghurs, the Muslim population in China. I didn't see any backlash about that. In fact, the only reason this thing blew up was because Joe Tsai, rather than pull his player into the room to have a chat with him and say, "Well, what are you doing? What's this? Let's talk," went online and attacked the man on Twitter. The poor kid stands up in a press conference and gets ambushed and said, and being told, "Are you I'm only thinking about this. Are you anti-Semitic?" He says, "Where's all this coming from? Were you promoting the link?" He says, "One, I didn't promote the video. I actually put out something that was interesting." Secondly, he says several times, "I don't hate people. I don't hate whatever. I'm for all religions. I'm this, blah, blah, blah." But no, they have to break him to the point where they want him to come out on his knees and say, "I am sorry."
Yep.
It wasn't enough to say, "I take responsibility." It wasn't enough to say, "I don't agree with everything in there." It wasn't enough to say, I love people from all walks of life." You have to say, "I'm sorry," and this is what they were after, Bishop.
Yep.
Kyrie's issue was, the reason why he didn't go there initially was, he was trying to say, cryptically, go read the Oxford Dictionary, he was saying, the word Semitic in every dictionary, and I'm quoting from one in front of me right now, sir, says, relating or denoting family languages.
Semitic languages.
Hebrew, Arabic, and Aramaic.
Yes.
Constituting the main subgroup of the Afro-Asiatic family. The kid's saying, I think I'm Semitic.
Right.
I can't be anti myself.
Right.
And that was the real issue. That's why they broke him. That's why they came after him. That's why they attacked him. It wasn't necessarily about a video that's been online for forever. It's about how dare you appropriate something to yourself that we think should belong to us.
Yes.
And so we're in a world where me saying, "This is my heritage, I don't think it's yours." We can argue about it, we can debate about it. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe you're right. But if I have to be dragged in line and attacked and vilified and disgraced and fined and lose money, then I'm actually asking the question, what is it about that identity you are so eager to appropriate to want to come after me in my livelihood?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, appreciate what you brought out, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I'm telling you, nothing but facts right there. Hoops galore. I don't know if that means you can play ball or what, but you got the microphone. Holla at me, Hoops.
My name is Jackson. I'm from Miami, Florida.
All right.
And thank you for letting me speak, Bishop.
Yes, sir.
I want to echo what Israel said.
Mm-hmm.
I think the organization dropped the ball on this one.
Okay.
Big time. If you watch Sean Marks, who is the general manager of the team, if you watch his last press conference, he publicly said to Nick Friedel, "I don't like how you cover our team." But then he allows this same Nick Friedel, that if you go back to last season, went back and forth with Kyrie about a decision he made regarding his body taking a vaccine or not taking it. He allowed the same guy to not only be present in this press conference, but to be the figure that asked the first question. If you are in Kyrie's shoes, how can you not be defensive if the same reporter, the journalist that's been attacking you since you've been in Brooklyn, is the one asking you questions about your stance? And he's framing the questions in a way that almost trips you up. And he's also framing the questions in a way based on his expectation of what you should say. If you're Kyrie Irving, how do you just bow down, or how do you just submit to that and just say yes or no, or I am sorry? I never thought that Kyrie Irving wasn't apologetic. I never thought he was a hateful person.
Right.
But I always thought they put him in a terrible position to be answering from reporters like Nick Friedel, who he hasn't been given any accountability. And that's my main point that I want to share regarding this whole situation that I think everybody's overlooking.
Gotcha. Appreciate you, brother.
No problem.
Let's get Ty Henney. Ty Henney, you're in the building.
Hey, what's going on, Bishop? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How you feeling?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Doing good.
All right, that's the best, man. Let me get into it. So, a couple things. We see this, quote unquote anti-Semitic shit, but when we get deeper into it, when people speak on black crime, when people speak on crime in my community, when people speak on, saying things that are happening and the demographics in my area and things like that, that's not anti-black. For some reason, if I say, hey, the Jews on everything, that's anti-Semitic.
Right. Exactly.
Tell me how that makes sense.
But here's the thing, brother. And I said this morning, because I said, now, what a way for the Jewish community to debunk what they say is a stereotype, that they have an inordinate amount of influence in American society, in the media, in entertainment industry. How best to prove that's not true? By stripping $1 billion from an entertainer and buck breaking an athlete, making him apologize, and then give your organization $500,000. It's like mind blowing. We're offended that you're saying we have an inordinate amount of influence, but we're going to use our influence to bring you to your knees at the same time. It's crazy.
Yeah, man, that's the facts right there. So, I agree with everything you're saying. When we get to it, the buck breaking is really what's like, you know what I'm saying? It really puts a light on everything. Show how powerless, you know what I'm saying, some of us, I guess, truly are when it comes to this system. I don't want to keep talking about the same thing. I just want to throw out a solution out there.
All right.
Okay, I don't know if you like that solution. This is a solution. All of our black brothers from the NBA, they need to sign 4-year contracts, something like that. Go ahead, go get your money, and then leave. And then all them brothers, they need to get together and form their own league. You know what I'm saying? And that league will make billions over time.
Look, man, you're right.
People do not go to these games to watch Jews sign contracts. Now, do they? No. Okay, no. Jews don't do people walk around with pens in their hands, signing shit. You know what I'm saying? We are not the product. We are literally the product. You know what I'm saying? It's not even close to fair. It's not even right.
Yeah.
At least make it 50-50 or something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
LeBron went to Cleveland. It was worth $200 million when LeBron got there. LeBron left. That's just worth $3 billion. You know, LeBron got paid $200 million.
Right.
He got paid what the team was worth, and he got there.
Wow.
That was the show that's going on in our community, man.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, the brother's right. 80% of the NBA are black players. So that tells you who's got the talent. What would happen if they left and started their own league? Infamous roster. Come through. Infamous.
Good morning, Bishop. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Are we going to talk about how? Are these fake Jews going to talk about how Israel's still bombing Palestine and
right, Semitic. That's anti-Semitism.
Okay, they're bombing them as of this morning.
Right.
But nobody says anything. Are we going to talk about how a black Jew in America can't take his son to a Jew hospital and get a blood transfusion? Are we going to talk about how black Jews can't even send their kids to Jewish schools and Jewish synagogues?
Are we going to talk about how Ethiopian Jews are segregated in Israel and mistreated and treated like second-class citizens like black folks are in America?
Are you going to talk about how black Jews are getting deported out of Israel?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So they don't want to talk about this, but they get mad when people bring up the truth about their devilish ways.
But see, if you say that, you're anti-Semitic.
And it cracks me up because most of these American Jews don't even speak Hebrew; they speak Yiddish or English.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even read from the Torah; they read from the Talmud.
Mm-hmm.
But if you speak on this and you bring it up, you're wrong. You're anti-Semite. All this stuff because they want to hide. They want to continue to hide the truth from everybody. And I'm actually kind of glad this Semite versus anti-Semite conversation is being talked about because a lot of people in America don't even know the difference. They just hear it and they automatically assume it's a racial thing or ethnic thing instead of actually a language thing.
Right. Absolutely. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, no problem.
Yeah, they're bringing truth to the light this morning. Dr. Funkenstein. Holla at your boy. You got the microphone.
All right. Greetings. I just wanted to make a comment.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie is very intelligent in the way that he articulates himself. Yeah, a lot of people I see are taking Kyrie's side, which we should. However, Ye is a brother too.
Mm-hmm.
And we should separate the two. And we shouldn't say, well, I don't like the way he said it. Forget how he said it. Stick to the principle of what's being said.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't articulate it the same way in the same context, or he did the same context. He didn't articulate it as eloquent as Kyrie did. However, his message was the same.
Mm-hmm.
And it caused people to wake up and start saying, wait a minute, let me learn a little something. Let me think about a little something. So brothers, we got to stand up and start being black men.
See, here's my issue. Here's my issue. Of course, I disagreed with Kanye with his anti-black stuff, his White Lives Matter, his wearing Confederate stuff. Let me finish this point. I disagreed with that, but I supported his right to do it and to say it without being brought to his knees, without his finances being attacked. And so the hypocrisy of all of this to me is okay, when Kanye says things or does things that offended black people, there was a level of tolerance for it. He offends Jews, and we got to buck break him and bring him to his knees. Same thing with Kyrie. We got to buck break him and bring him to his knees. But then you want to talk about free speech at the same time. So my thing is it free speech or is there not free speech? Or is there free speech for white supremacists who say and do things, but there's not free speech for black people, who speak their mind and their convictions? So at the end of the day, for me, whether you agreed with or disagreed with anything either one of those brothers said, I don't support them being attacked, them being brought to their knees, forced to apologize, having their livelihood threatened, and all of that as a result of it.
Right. Okay, so let me say this. I heard everything you said, and that was great. The one thing that you didn't say was the man's name is Ye.
Mm-hmm.
The man's name is Ye. I remember when I was a little boy and looking at films. There was a man called Cassius Clay, who was a great boxer.
Mm-hmm.
And all he asked was for Americans and his fans, don't call me Cassius Clay no more. Call me Muhammad Ali.
Right.
Now, he wasn't the most articulate man either. He got up there, and some people was like, he's a buffoon, talking about he float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. Yeah, he was the same man that said something profound when he said, ain't no LIVECall never called me a nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Why should I go over there and kill him? Right. So he wasn't the most articulate man. He wasn't a Malcolm X, but yet his stance that he had and the respect that he was demanding for his people, but yet our people couldn't even call him Muhammad Ali. They kept calling him Cassius Clay. And he had to get up in the ring and beat another black man and say, quit calling me Cassius.
Yeah.
Call me Ali.
What's my name?
I'm going to keep beating your ass until you call me by the name that I'm telling you I want to be called by. So even we say we respect certain things, but we won't even call the man Ye. And what's so big about it? You know what I'm saying? Every time we pick up the Bible, that's the most used word in the Bible. You know?
Yay!
So
Go ahead.
One more thing, if I could, just before I wrap it up, because I'm going to get those. One more thing. The man said something about slavery. He said slavery was a choice, and we lynched that brother. White people didn't have to come in and do nothing. We didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Before he challenged white people, he challenged us. And let me say this. White people didn't teach us everything that we thought we knew about slavery, but everything we thought we knew about slavery, white people taught us. Yet what they didn't teach us is that it was many Africans that said, I ain't getting on that boat with you. I'll fight and die before I do that. And they made that choice. There was many Africans that thought it was a land of milk and honey over here, and they got in them chains and got over here and decided, I ain't doing this, I'm running. They didn't stay. That's a choice. There was many Africans that got over here and said, wait, y'all mistreating me. I'll die before I live being a slave. That was a choice they made. There was some that said, you know what? I realize who you are, and I'm going to kill you before I work another day in your cotton field. And those were choices. So we did have choices. They did have choices. And stick to the fact of it, not the emotion of it. Because when you turn it and spin it and you make it just a clip, everybody's going to jump on it. But if you dig to the facts of it, we absolutely had choices and we still have choices.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
Peace.
All right. Man, y'all rolling up in here. I gotta go. I got a meeting in my office at 11. So let me get a couple more of you all in here. And then I'm gonna be ghost. Let me see. Let me get Anna in here. I don't know if I want to get that Texas in there because I'm scared of, who's coming in from Texas. Anna, you got the microphone. Unmute your mic. Let me see. All right, Anna going once. Anna going twice. All right, I got to move on, Anna. I got to move on. Let's see what happened. Texas. Who I got up in here? No, I got Willie Daniels. Holla at me.
You put my mic on.
All right, who am I speaking to?
Benazir, Queen of Sheba, Benazir Ibrahim Mukhtar, living in Amsterdam, Netherlands.
Okay. All right. I think I already talked to you. Willie Daniels, you in the building?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
I want to speak on Kyrie real quick and make it brief.
All right.
You know, I think he's on the stage with Kanye. They trying to put the noose around his neck slowly.
All right.
For what he said, for what he posted. You know, my thing is, why won't nobody stand up and actually call out what he posted? Was it anti or was it not anti?
All right. I think I lost your voice.
We all know what it is, but we know what. Does freedom of speech really exist anymore?
Yeah,
I don't see it existing.
That's
when
the question.
You say something against powerful Jews, they want to lynch you in front of everybody. So until we start fighting against the lynching, they're gonna just keep taking us down one by one. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. They're gonna keep doing it.
You're right about that.
You know, I'm gonna hold my tongue because I got a lot to say. I know you got 30 minutes. So I'm gonna be graceful and let other people hop in there.
All right.
All right. You have a blessed day.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Let me get one or two more. Professor Burt. Well, let me get Texas. I was trying to get Texas in here. Texas, holla at me.
Hello.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Good. You?
I'm doing all right.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't want too much. I was just gonna say Trump never did denounce the KKK.
Right.
He went on to represent the entire United States.
Right. Right.
People keep telling me,
right.
Kyrie represents the NBA, so But I just wanted to make that point.
And he said Nazis were very fine people.
yeah. So there were good people on both sides, and all that. So, but yeah, I'm a little disappointed in Kyrie right now because he apologized and we've been out here fighting. I'm banned on Twitter right now. I can't tweet. I can't do nothing. We've been going in all night.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. For him to apologize just kind of puts me in a bad place. So I've been trying to make points, and now they're gonna reply to me and say, well, I was right. He apologized. So
Yeah. All right, brother. Appreciate you, man.
All right, appreciate it.
Let me get one more. Sorry, I'm not going to be able to get to all of y'all because I got to go. I got people to see, places to go, all that. Black Renaissance. Holla at me. You got
yeah. So I wanted to make like a few points. But I'm not wrap everything all up. So basically, yesterday was a very tragic day. In New York City, I'm not really sure if any of y'all familiar with like the New York Trail movement. Well, 2 to 3 people passed away. As well as really in a week, Takeoff passed away. So last night, a young rapper by the name of E. Baby killed himself in Harlem. He was 17 years old, shot himself in the head or whatever the case may be. Another kid passed away in Brooklyn on a bicycle, just riding his bike, was gunned down, and as you all know, Takeoff was also passed away. Right. Now, I say all that to say this, that when we speak about Kyrie Irving, if we speak about when we spend the whole month condemning Kanye, and now November begins and we have all this loss of life and stuff like that. I want us to understand it can't be a selfish situation. Like the last week just said, I don't know why Kyrie apologized because I'm responding to people. It's you can't be so selfish when there's so much of us dying right now. We all have to have a organized front, a unified front. No matter what little maybe problems we have, ideologically going towards the midterm and stuff, we need to somehow unify and somehow get one unified message that we can maybe disseminate to Judean people so that they can understand the better something, because right now they just doing a whole bunch of white spinning, and I suggest everyone go listen to the Rabbi Erez sermon on ESPN. And listen to their like response to Kyrie Irving, it was so like just like lackluster. Just go watch that. So yeah, I just wanted to like compensate that. I hope I made the type of point. I hope that the case may be. I hope everyone supports that big rally tomorrow. Peace and reparations. Thank you for letting me speak, sir.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. All right, sorry y'all. I gotta move out the way. I gotta change locations and get to another meeting, but it's been a blessing being with you all today. And check out the spoken word on Monday at 9 a.m. I got to get out of here. So until the next time I talk to you and you talk to me, always remember, God loves you, and so do I.